I'm Angie Torres and I'm party 2 in the dirt track.
I'm Alexis Harris and I'm party 1 in the dirt track.
I'm Corinne Masatani and I'm mediating.
And I'm Gabriel Medina, I'm a second mediator.
Okay.
Okay. So, welcome. I'm sorry, your names again? Party 1 and Party 2. How would you like to be referred by? Or what would you like to be referred
Miss
by?
Torres.
Miss Torres.
And Miss Harris.
Miss Harris, okay. So, Miss Torres and Miss Harris, we're mediators. My name is Gabriel and...
I'm Corinne.
Okay, so we're here to, I believe there's some items that we need to discuss, and there's some tension between you two, and we're gonna discover that, and just kind of talk and openly communicate and try to fix some errors that we have with each other.
So everything you guys say is confidential. We just want you guys to know that. And our purpose here is just to serve as a third party and, try to help you guys find a solution before having to take things into court.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna start with Miss Torres because you look like ready to go. You look focused.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you're not focused, but excuse me. So Miss Torres, would you like to enlighten us on the story of why we came here today?
Sure. So I am a retired person. I retired recently, a few months ago, and I moved out to this new neighborhood. I suppose it's out in the country, big open houses or open land. And I moved here because I was ready to just settle down with my spouse and have a nice life of quiet and peacefulness. And everything had been going pretty well until like a few months in that I was living there. I started to notice that next door they were building like a track or something. And then I started to have lots of disturbances. The neighbors are always riding dirt bikes, motorcycles throughout the day. I know they have kids. And it's just been such a nuisance. I feel like I can't rest, I can't relax ever. It's extremely frustrating to be in this new house where I thought that I was going to be able to just retire and live a nice, happy, quiet, peaceful life, and now it's just headache after headache, and there's dirt everywhere. My house is just garbage, it's all dirty, and I'm just extremely frustrated with the situation right now.
So your plans of retirement, how would you say they've gone so far with all these things, all these unexpected occurrences, such as I believe you said, bless you. I believe you said garbage and just headaches. Like, how does it make you feel getting the headaches and having this retirement plan? Because I assume retirement to be, like you said, relaxing,
Yes.
peaceful, just chill. But how does it make you feel that it's not the way things have been kind of turning out?
I'm pretty angry. I mean, I'm not the youngest person around. I understand that, but I'm every day it's a constant headache. There's so much noise. I've asked them to please just not ride anymore, and they have so many people over in that backyard. I don't understand how many. I know they only have like 2 or 3 kids, but there's so many kids there all the time, just riding from dusk till dawn, even past dawn, and did I get that right? And it's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm so angry. I mean, I'm getting sick too. I feel like I'm on medication because of the headaches, and I have breathing problems because of all of the dirt. I'm anxious all of the time. It's ridiculous. I've asked them before to please take it down, and they won't do it.
Okay.
I feel like that there's no peace and quiet in my retirement right now.
Okay, so just to get an understanding, what are you trying to get from?
I'm trying to
Are
get
you trying to are you?
I'm trying to get these little kids to just please be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't see why I have to give up the way I live my life just because the way you want to live your life. I mean, it's on my property. I built a truck on my property.
That's a valid point you have, Miss Harris. But actually, I'm sorry to cut you off, but Miss Torres, I do feel some stress coming from you. And
Of course I'm stressed. I don't sleep. I'm never resting.
Well, probably because I'm harassing my children. That's probably why you're
Well,
not getting any rest.
Why? How am I harassing your kids? Your kids are the ones that are writing all the time. They don't stop.
You're the one who's been taking pictures of my
Excuse
children.
me, Ms. Harris. Excuse me. Sorry for. We're gonna wait to talk to each other in a minute, but I'd just like to focus on our time that we've all come here to resolve something, and I want to focus our time effectively and try to work through things slowly. So going back to Ms. Torres, did you have any last things to say? I think we understand what's going on. Scratching the surface.
I really would like. We have tried to come to an agreement, I suppose, of how to get rid of this dirt track. I don't think it's safe for all of those little kids to be riding it, and it's probably not going to work. She's really hard to work with.
So is it just you living in your?
It's myself and my spouse.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and we're just looking for a life of peacefulness, and there is none at all. There's so much noise coming from next door, and dirt.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need any of that.
Okay. So, Ms. Harris, would you please enlighten us on your side of the story and why you came here today and took out valuable time out of your life to come? Because I feel that mediation. We're a third neutral party, and we just want to fix something between you. And I mean, for all of us to be here together and take time out of our schedule, I think that's important to recognize that
Absolutely.
we're open and we want to fix some differences, and there's many differences that happen, and sometimes we can't control them. But if we can come together and talk and relay information, and maybe we can figure something out. So I'm sorry. With that said, would you enlighten us on your side?
Yes. So I have, 3 children. My youngest, I believe, my youngest is 3, and then I have 2 older boys, 6 and 8. They have recently decided the 2 boys have decided that they are interested in riding dirt bikes. So I wanted to kind of, be able to keep an eye on them and watch them as they, do this sport, because it can be dangerous, but, under supervision, in the right, facilities, it's good. So I decided to build this dirt track behind my house, and the kids and their friends come and they ride, their dirt bikes, and, I'm able to supervise them and things like that. They're always wearing helmets, so they're always safe.
How safe can it be for a 3-year-old to have a motorcycle?
I waited for you to discuss, so you
Okay.
didn't wait for me. Thank you.
Let's continue.
Thank you.
So anyway, everything was fine. They're riding their dirt bikes, and my neighbor has been, harassing them, yelling at them while they're riding their bikes, taking pictures of them, which I'm very uncomfortable with.
I never
by the
took
way.
a picture of your kids.
As far as I know, you were standing there when they were riding dirt bikes, taking pictures of them, and I don't understand why you need to do that. So anyway, I've just been having a really difficult time dealing with my neighbor on the situation. I feel violated. I'm concerned for the safety of my children.
So I did notice that you said you've been stressing safety. Can you elaborate more because I did pick up that Ms. Torres was emphasized safety as well in her story. I think we can bridge a connection with our safety concerns for the children. I mean, although they're not Ms. Torres' children, she did have that concern for them that might be a little dangerous. And you did state that they wear helmets and they're very safe. But would you elaborate a little more on the safetiness of the activities that your children?
Yeah, absolutely. The safety in which I'm talking about is just having a random stranger taking pictures of my children. I mean, we live in a nice, community, and Ms. Torres and her spouse never show up to any of the events, so I don't know them. I don't know them on a personal basis. It's not like we chit chat. So to have some random person just taking pictures of your children is a little disconcerting to me.
I know you mentioned events, like, what do you mean she doesn't show up to events?
Oh, we have like community, like parties, like block parties and things like that.
At your...
It could be at my house, or it could just be at a random house on the block. Like we all switch off and we just kind of, get together and, hang out as a community. So it's just events like that, and Ms. Torres and her spouse do not come to that, so I know them very well.
Uh-huh.
And for them to be taking pictures of my kids, I think is inappropriate. Extremely inappropriate, in fact. And I
Okay.
know that Ms. Torres did get in contact with us, calling our house, but instead of being polite, she just was yelling, which I don't respond well to, especially when it's something that's on my property.
Mhm.
I don't want anyone to.
But the sound is all over my property. I can hear it everywhere. The dirt's on my property. I don't respond well to that either.
Well, you live in the country. Dirt happens.
Dirt happens, yes, but not all over my new car
Excuse
or
me,
my
Ms.
car that I
Torres,
work on,
excuse me,
my
Ms. Torres,
walls.
we're almost done with Ms. Harris's points. And I feel some tension that, and it's good that we're both, talking openly, but we're gonna finish with her side just like we gave you your time. So the last point, can you rephrase your last point again? I'm sorry, it's been a lot of things going on in this mediation so far.
I'm sorry, what was my last? What
Just the last point you were making about I
Dirt
guess
in the country.
dirt in the country, or it seems to me the whole photo
mm-hmm.
thing is bothersome to you.
Yes.
And, how does
Could you elaborate on so was it just like one incident kind of thing where you seen her taking photos or like
Yes, it was one incident
Uh-huh.
in which she was taking photos.
taking photos of your children?
Yes.
Like when they were like riding?
Yes.
or-
By the dirt track, yes.
Okay. Do you have an explanation for that?
I took the photos because I was contacting the county and they requested some evidence that there were young children riding on this dirt track, and I just wanted to make sure because I'm pretty sure that this is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I took the pictures. I wasn't specifically taking pictures
What's
of her
illegal?
kids.
Mm-hmm.
The dirt track.
Why
And
is the
having
dirt track
little
illegal?
kids. It should be. I mean, how have you had anybody out there from the government come and make sure that this is okay to have in your
Yeah, because it's
backyard?
on my property.
There's rules though about who can ride dirt motorcycles anywhere. I
Can you
mean,
show me that?
I'm pretty sure you can check like a DMV handbook that a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old,
A
and an
3-year-old
8-year-old.
isn't riding a
Okay,
dirt
I've
bike.
seen the 3-year-old on the
isn't
bike.
riding
The
a
Okay,
3-year-old,
excuse
the
me.
3-year-old's out there.
Excuse me.
It's been on the. I'm sorry. The 3-year-old has been on the bicycle. Or
On
on
a
a dirt.
on a
dirt
dirt
bike.
bicycle maybe,
The
but
dirt
not on a
bike.
dirt
Okay,
bike.
why
did
did
the
the
3-year-old
Yeah,
on
we're
a
gonna
That's
take a-
what I wanted to know. That's why I was out there taking the
Goodness, that's
pictures.
ridiculous.
we need to create some
6 and-
space right now because things are getting a little heated, but I think I've gained good information, or we've gained good information on the background of the stories. Ms. Harris, your story was continuing. Did you want to finish off, or were you pretty much complete with that?
I think I stated my concerns and what is really bothering me about the safety for my children and just the harassment. I just don't. I feel like their children.
Harassment?
They shouldn't have to deal with that. Being kids and all that. They shouldn't have to feel like they're being watched over, yelled at, or anything like that. Especially when they're at their home. I would never go onto your property and just start taking random pictures or.
You would never come onto my property. You're dirt.
Exactly. I wouldn't. I wouldn't come on. Your property.
Okay, so
I don't
from
want
all
you
of
on
this,
my property. I don't want
Good.
your dirt on my property. I
Good.
want your
Okay.
sound on
Okay,
my
okay,
property.
okay.
Ms. Torres, we're almost done. If you can bear with us, and then I know we're all anxious to say things.
So what I'm hearing, and I'm sure you're hearing too, is your main concern is the photos. You don't like that
Mhm.
of your children. And from you, I'm hearing that your main concern is your health and the safety of your kids.
And how annoying they are.
Right.
The sound of the dirt bikes, they're so annoying. It's all day,
Mhm.
all day. I can't catch a break every day of the week, every single day of the week, all day.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think it's all day, but
Most of the day.
Okay, so now that we've spoken freely about our stories and backgrounds, what we're gonna do is move on, and just as Kieran was saying that your concern is the dirt and the safety of the children, one of your main concerns, and also the noise.
Yes.
You did stress the noise a lot, that it was I don't want to repeat the word you said, but it was bothersome and loud, and your plans of retirement aren't going as planned. And Ms. Harris, on the other hand, you feel that your kids, it's their home, and you've been in the country, you've been here for 10 years-ish? I know you didn't say a number, but okay.
roughly that.
So you've been here longer, and I do feel some some sense of pride in having this dirt track for your kids. Like it can be.
It's a place for the kids in the community, if they want to come and ride their dirt bikes, they're safe, they're not just out in the wilderness just riding around, they have supervision.
Okay. So I'm sorry, real quick. I did hear the safe word again. So I really in the next phases of this mediation, I really want to emphasize the safety concerns that both of us have. I think that's very important when trying to tie points together. Safety's a big concern, especially with dirt bike riding. I've done some myself before. Anyway, so from now we're gonna move on to we can start speaking slowly to each other, and I think both parties have heard the stories pretty well enough, right? We know.
I mean, we've lived it.
Yeah, and of course, you've experienced it. So we're gonna transfer from Ms. Torres to Ms. Harris, and we're gonna see how we can address the safety issue, about safety and the noise issue. So can you elaborate more on the timings of the noise and your main concerns? Because the story was kind of large, but if you can try to compact it so we can effectively gain connections with you and Ms. Harris and try to bridge or try to reconnect the communication, because our communication between each other is not working right now.
I mean, my biggest issue is the noise. So I'll wake up and hear the motorcycles or the dirt bikes already going in the morning, like 8 or 9-ish. That's usually on the weekends, I will admit. But then throughout the entire day, like, it'll be quiet, and then it'll just start up again out of nowhere, and then it'll be quiet again. And by quiet, I mean, like, the kids are still playing. That's totally fine. But the dirt bikes are extremely loud. They cause a lot of sound. And I know I'm in the country, but that's also why I came out there, because there's large land, like, my property's huge, her property is huge. And I figured that would be enough distance so that I could have my peace and quiet and just relax, do my gardening, do whatever the hell I want to do. There's so much noise all the time. I'll start gardening and all of a sudden the dirt bikes start up again. I'll be like working on my car. I love to do that. And all of a sudden there's dirt coming over the fence. Every day my car's dirty again because of I know there's dirt in the country, you mentioned that, but the dirt that's coming over the fence from the dirt bikes. The motorcycles will go on till like 9 or 10 on weekdays. On the weekend, I don't even know what time they go to bed. I mean, that's her concern, what time her kids go to bed. I understand that, but it's late, it's loud, and I'm just trying to rest with my spouse. They are young kids, and okay, that's fine. They're on their dirt bikes, but I don't know how safe that is. And then having other kids there, it's so many of them. It's so loud, it's so dirty and messy, and I don't know, like, it's just so frustrating. And I'm anxious all the time now because of the sound. I'm not resting. My breathing is terrible. I mean, I'm already an old person. Now I have to deal with all this shit.
Okay.
So I understand where your frustration is coming from. Do you think she has a valid point, like, in her concerns and her feelings?
I mean, yes and no. I don't think that she really has to put up with the noise for that long, because they do go to school during the day. So it's not during the week, Monday through Friday, they're at school during the day. Then they get home, and yes, they may ride their bikes, for a little bit. Weekends, valid. I mean, they do ride a lot. I mean, it's their hobby. I mean, I don't know why you want me to take away their hobby from them.
I don't want you to take away the hobby. It's just all the
Okay, excuse me. Let me take a time out.
There's nothing
real
I
quick.
can do about the loudness. It's not like I can
the
muffle
dirt,
it.
right? But it's all day. On the weekend, it's all day, and it's so late into the night on weekends.
So I
as
did sense. Excuse me. I did sense a weekday and weekend emphasis from both of you that the weekends there's some sort of agreement or close to an agreement that weekends are more free than weekdays. So Ms. Harris, it's kind of your turn on the floor, and if you would like to say something, please feel free, Ms. Harris. But can you elaborate on the difference between the weekend riding and the weekday riding? for us
Well,
to
we-
understand.
Well, the weekday writing, I mean, they have school, from 8 to 3,
Okay.
so they get home and then they have to do their homework, they have to have dinner, so usually their time to like kind of go out is probably around, 6:30 or so. They do have to be in bed by 9. So that day, so the weekdays are a little less. But weekends, I mean, they have free time, if they want to go riding, it's weekdays and weekends are different. The kids are going to school during the week. They have school from about 8 to 3, and then they usually do homework. We have dinner, and then they go riding, if there's time, which usually there is. And then weekends, I kind of let them, ride whenever they would like. Mostly there's dinner and things like that, but usually it's kind of free because it's their free time,
Mhm.
And that's what they like to do. And I'm not going to tell them no, you can't do your hobby because you might disturb the neighbor. Like,
Yeah.
we have a big property. They should be able. That's why I got the big property, so that I can kind of live my life how I would like to live my life.
That's why I got my big property too.
Okay, so how would your typical weekday versus weekend schedule be like?
I am retired, so I could do whatever on any day of the week, which is the beauty of retirement. On a typical weekday, I wake up and I like to go out and I have a garden. I like to work in the garden for a while. I go and eat, usually take a nap. I am old, I get tired easily. I work on my car, that's another hobby of mine. I come in and I help my spouse with dinner. We eat, and then we like to watch some shows, usually around 7. We try to go to bed like around 8 or 9, we are old. And
So I'm sorry, this is a weekday or a weekend?
this is a weekday. And
Weekday.
Honestly, weekends, it's almost the same thing, but on the
Kinda.
weekdays, there's a little bit more structure, a little bit embarrassing, but it is because we like to watch our shows.
Uh-huh.
So we like to be in front of the TV by 7 o'clock. It's just our ritual.
Okay.
But we would love to. Sometimes we just go outside and enjoy it's a beautiful area that we live in. We like to enjoy it and take a look around, work in our garden and stuff. But usually it's extremely noisy, or there's a lot of dirt coming from outside, from next door, and it's really hard for me to breathe. And so I go back inside. I wouldn't rather be inside, but I'm forced to because of my health.
So it seems that your main concern is more towards the evenings, sort of. Like
Yeah,
that's when it bothers
because
you
they
the
are.
most.
They are in school,
Mhm.
but it's like, well, I'm already hard at hearing, and the fact that I can hear the dirt bikes, and I can't hear my own TV show that I'm trying to watch without like over here, it's just really frustrating.
So it sounds like you really value your TV time.
Your TV time.
It's a ritual that I've had with my partner for the longest time. We've been together for many years, and it's something that we've done. And when we moved out here, we definitely didn't think that would change because of background noise. We used to live in the city, and it wasn't this noisy.
Okay. So now that we both understand what we do we missed you on the weekends. No, I'm sorry, the weekdays. What's your schedule? No, I'm sorry.
We went over it.
We went over it.
We went over that.
We're good. I'm sorry. There's just a lot of information going on. So, I think we'd like to move forward, and I'd like to highlight that we both have needs in this mediation. We've stressed the importance of safety, our schedules, and they seem to match up with each other in ways. For example, Ms. Torres, Ms. Torres, you have your TV shows, and that's one essential part besides of gardening and having the quiet time and working on your car. On the other hand, Ms. Harris, your kids they have their homework time, and that's very important. And then also, what's more important is giving them the freedom to ride their bikes. So what we want to do now, is try to relate those situations and ensure that we both have our time to do what we want to do in the day. So
Okay, come on.
Yeah.
We need to go back. I think he would probably want us to emphasize more about the pictures too, because that was an issue. And then calling the court and having them come to your house.
Mhm.
I just have to.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. So now that we have shared
Our needs, or
yeah,
each
yeah.
other needs.
Mhm.
We both have an understanding of what you value and also what you value. Do you think that there's some common grounds that you two share that could meet both of your needs?
We both live here to do what we want to do, but unfortunately, it's completely opposite things. And that's why we're having these problems.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ms. Harris, can you rephrase that in the way you heard it?
We both live in the same
It's totally just
community, and we both live in this community so that we can live our life how we want to live it.
Okay.
Is that
That's,
Okay.
I would say that's accurate.
All right. I see a nods of agreement. That's positive. So that's great. We're definitely making progress. Now I do want to reflect back to Ms. Harris. You said something about pictures that earlier
Yes.
in the mediation that seemed when you were saying it, I felt a sense of stress.
yes?
And there was some disagreement on the validity of the pictures, and I want to go back and fill that empty space and try to connect and further explain why the pictures were taken and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
So can you once again bring us back to how the pictures? Number one, how does it feel to see Miss Torres with a camera just taking pictures of your children?
It feels threatening. Threatening.
Becoming at 6.
Is it just one dude?
Threatening because I don't know her. I don't know anything about her. So I mean, how would you like to have a random person take pictures of your children? Like,
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you were saying how you felt about the photos being taken?
yes, I feel threatened for my children's safety. I just feel threatened. I just don't like it. A random person taking pictures of my children. I think that that's reasonable. I don't think that anyone really wants to have a random person take pictures of their children. I don't know what she's doing with those pictures. I don't know what she's taking them. It was ever discussed with me. It's just she just comes on my property and starts taking pictures like that.
I didn't go on your property.
Close enough to take pictures of my kids. So,
Okay, so what would you like to communicate or discuss with Ms. Torres on about the picture situation? Like, how can you two talk and find the reason why the pictures were being taken and
Because I needed them to send them to court. That was it.
so
So did you actually
I called her and I told her to take the racetrack down, or I was going to take legal matters.
right.
And when I called the county, they said they requested pictures of the dirt track and everything to see, and that's when I took pictures. I don't care about the pictures and her kids in them. She could have them for all I care. I really don't care about those pictures. But I took them not to look at her kids, but to send them over to the county
Right.
because they requested pictures of the dirt track. But I had called her ahead of time to let her know that she needed to take the dirt track down.
Right.
yeah, but you didn't say I'm gonna take pictures of your children.
Because you
Okay.
didn't do it. I told you that I
Okay,
was
so
taking
hearing-
action, and I took the action.
So hearing Ms. Torres' side, and understanding that the photos were strictly being used for legal purposes, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I guess if that's what she needed to be doing, I mean, what's done is done, I'm still uncomfortable with it, and I still wish she would have, talked to me about it first instead of just calling and yelling at me, hey, take down your dirt track,
Right.
I wouldn't call and yell at her. Maybe if she would have called and been a little nicer, about it, then maybe, you know, we could have talked about things and come to an agreement, but
So it seems like,
she's being old and crotchety.
How can
oh,
I
excuse me, can we hold those comments for,
how can I hold the comments? She's calling me names over
yeah,
here.
okay,
I'm frustrated. How can
Yeah,
I be
it's-
happy? How can I be happy when I can't sleep? I'm on new medicine. I know that I'm old. I'm older than you. So your kids and you should have respect for me.
Okay, so we left off with the picture, the taking of pictures and how it made you feel stressed, and there was a disagreement that we wanted to understand. So, to my understanding, what I heard was that you needed the pictures for legal purposes, and that Ms. Torres asked Ms. Harris if it was okay, and over the phone.
No.
But
To take the track down.
She didn't ask to have permission to take pictures. She called and said,
oh,
take the
to
track
take the
down.
track down. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Or I would pursue legal action.
So, okay. So the legal action occurred because you didn't take the track down. So,
Because I don't think I have to.
yeah, okay. So, what do you think we could have done better, or you two could have done better in communication efforts? Like, how did the phone conversation feel? Let's start with Ms. Torres.
Well, I called over there. She did say I was angry. I was, because of the noise. I was fed up. It was a day in particular where they had not stopped all day. I remember it was a Saturday, and I was just really fed up. And I called her and I told her to stop with the writing and to take the track down, because I had read somewhere that it wasn't in accordance with the law, or I was just YouTubing, Googling, whatever you guys call it, just to see what I could do. And I told her that if she didn't take the track down, I would pursue legal action, and that's what I did. I will own up to the fact that I did. I was a bit aggressive, but I mean, I was mad. Her kids had been out all day, and it was just noisy and frustrating.
Okay.
So knowing that the pictures were strictly for legal purposes, does that put you at ease a little more? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess for legal purposes, I still wish that she would have, communicated that with me before taking the pictures. I probably would have let her take the pictures anyway, because I don't believe that having the dirt track is illegal on my property. So, even her taking the pictures only bothered me. I'm glad that you did own up to the fact that you were angry and kind of aggressive on the phone. That was really bothersome to me because I didn't feel that it was necessary. However, so I mean, I guess to answer your question, I feel better knowing that it wasn't for anything but that. I still don't think it was right, but it's just been taken.
so it sounds to me like you're acknowledging that you were wrong in that sense. Or not wrong, but like,
I was aggressive. I was fed up and frustrated.
Uh-huh.
I acknowledge that. I'm sorry for that, but I mean, I was just so frustrated about the noise pollution, and the pictures were not with any malintention at all. I still have the pictures. She can have them if she wants them. I'll get rid of them. Care for the pictures. I mean,
I would appreciate that.
it was just to contact the county. At this point, it's more of like the noise, and
right.
it's all day.
So we do want to point out that both of you
have needs. We're gonna trace back those needs real quick. That you need free time for TV, gardening, and working on your car, and the noise is very disturbing. And on the other hand, you want your kids to have fun, kind of whenever they want. But is there any way that we can think in a holistic way, in a communal way, and try to curb the hours of the riding so Miss Harris can enjoy her shows. Your kids, Miss Torres. I'm sorry, not very good with names, you can tell. That Miss Torres can enjoy her shows and your children can enjoy their riding. Is that an option that we can possibly address in the coming moments? Now that can I say that the photos are at rest now, Miss Harris? Okay. So we've come to an agreement that the photos will be handed over and put away with. So how does that make you feel that we were able to, Miss Harris? How does that make you feel that we were able to come to an agreement as far as the photos being taken care of?
I think it's a step in the right direction. Something that we at least agreed on for that moment.
Okay. And does it give both of you a sense of, does it further your connection a little bit, maybe just a little bit, as neighbors, that you were able to speak your emotions? And I know there's a lot to be said still, but that you're able to speak freely and for us to filter messages. But is there a sense of a progression going on that we can try to fix the other problems that we have, such as the noise and other things that we've addressed?
Yes,
Yes?
I think in this, it's helpful that I got a little bit of sleep, and I'm seeing her here as a parent, and I think we are moving forward.
Okay.
So now that we found a lot of common ground with the photos and everything, how do you guys want to take the approach for the needs of your TV shows as well as the needs for your evening writing?
I suppose that I can set a time schedule for the writing for the kids. I still want them to be able to, still have a good time and hang out with their friends. I don't know, maybe on the weekdays, think of a time that would work for both of us.
So if I can trace back to your timing for the weekdays, the mornings are free. So, Miss Torres, your mornings are pretty free except for the weekends, because weekends are weekends. We both come to sort of an agreement that weekends are open. There's no school, there's no work on this side. There's no school, no work on this side. The retirement is although there may be some noise on the weekend, it's still it's kind of inevitable. Is what I'm trying to say. Is that the weekend? Okay, so we come to that.
I was a kid once.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, but I was.
Okay, great. So, as far as timing, on the weekdays is what we're gonna emphasize on first, because that's where most of the noise is occurring. So, I'd say, what time do your kids usually start writing, Ms. Harris?
During the weekdays?
During the weekdays.
Oh, probably around like 6:30 or 7.
6:30 or 7. And
We go for, an hour or two.
an hour or two. Okay. Well, okay, that's great. Now, how does that make you feel that the kids are able to, relax and have a good time for an hour or two a day after a full day of school?
Don't get me wrong. I am happy that they have activities that they enjoy, and it seems that's great. That's not the problem. The problem is just that it's very loud, and the time of day, I suppose, with me, it completely interferes, and the dirt over my fence. But I'm not trying to stop the children from having a good time. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to.
That's my misunderstanding.
Well, it's an elaborate topic.
Yes.
Okay, so what would you say your most important hours that you wish would be quiet?
Honestly, from 7 o'clock forward, because from then is when I watch the one show with my spouse, and then after that we're trying to go to bed. That's
Okay.
probably the most important time. It is true they are at school during the day, and that gives me lots of time to do whatever I need to do.
Okay. So there is still a conflict because I do recall, Ms. Harris, your kids start riding at 6:30, and if you said they ride for an hour or two, that pushes it to 8:30, which kind of doesn't work. And what time are your kids off of school?
About 3 o'clock.
About
So,
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And do you pick them up or do they ride the bus home?
I usually pick them up. We probably get home around like 3:30 or so.
3:30. Okay. And then after the full day of school, I would assume, what happens after that? They relax? I'm sorry, I know you've told us once already,
Yeah,
but they
usually
relax
do
and
their
then...
homework. They do their homework when they come home, then we have dinner, and then I usually let them ride a little bit and then get ready for bed. So they come in at 8:30, get ready for bed, and then go to bed.
Okay.
Do you think that it's reasonable for Miss Torres to want hours quiet from 7? Like, how do you feel about her?
I mean, I think that 7 on is a little early, to be honest. I understand that's when the show starts. I still think it's early for, people in general. Like, most
For younger people, yes, it's early.
I understand you're older, but I don't know, maybe I could work out something where we switch their routine when they get home. I don't like to do that because I think that switching up a child's routine is really disruptive to them. But I guess in a sense, I'm gonna have to do it if necessary.
So what are you willing to change as far as timing? To my understanding, you're home at 3:30. The kids do their homework, but I can't just suggest it.
Totally did.
He did, right?
He was like, "Oh, well, I hear it. Why don't your kids like? Yeah, why don't
Okay.
you have an earlier dinner?"
Yeah, so obviously homework time is important,
Absolutely.
and of course dinner time is important as well, but do the kids follow like a strict eating time schedule, or?
We usually eat around the same time. That's just the routine that we've worked into. I suppose we could switch it up and do homework first, and then they could ride for a little bit, so that would push it. We'd be done riding probably like 6:30. I could have them be done riding by then. It just pushes dinner kind of late. Maybe they'll only be able to ride for so long during the week. I just hate like restricting their riding time so much, especially since it's what they like to do.
So your kids, they ride about, let's say, minimum an hour and a half
Yeah,
to 2 hours max.
yeah.
So regardless, an hour and a half. So can I suggest that the kids, do they have a snack at school, like a lunchtime before? So when they arrive at 3:30 to your house, are they kind of hungry? Do you feed them a little snack before dinner? 'Cause that's a nice lapse of time. Like say they have lunch at, I'm
Yeah, they
guessing
have,
1
like-
o'clock.
No, it's usually like 12.
12.
So yeah, they'll have a little snack, and then usually they have it while they're doing their homework.
Okay.
That's usually how it goes. And then they, it's always a little bit after that when we have dinner. It's just a light snack. They have like an apple or something like that.
Okay.
And then they go riding after dinner.
Okay. So, is there any way that you can slowly, because I know the whole routine is important to you and more important to your kids because, I mean, the kids, I think routines are good for them. Is there any way that you can slowly work with your kids to have them eat that apple? Maybe give them a break from the homework because they were at school all day, and they can rest their minds and ride from let's just say 4 to 5:30 or 6, and then after they'll be tired. They can eat dinner. They're going to be super hungry from riding. They can eat dinner, and then they can maybe finish some homework, and you can get to. I'm sorry, the bedtime was 9 o'clock.
Yes.
9 o'clock. Okay. Okay, so does that seem like an okay option?
That sounds reasonable. I mean, I would have to discuss it with my husband, you
Okay.
know, but I might be able to work that out.
Okay.
I think it's important to point out that she's respecting your time for the weekends for riding motorcycles. Right? You're giving her.
Yes, I understand. I mean, it would be cool. It would be dandy if they didn't ride too late on maybe Sunday. I understand Saturday,
Yeah.
but I mean sometimes it's like till 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure it's not the kids that late, but I
1
mean
or 2, yeah, definitely not.
maybe
1 or
maybe your
2.
husband. I don't know, but
No.
or 10. I'm old. Maybe it's 10 and it just feels like 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's probably more likely.
If it couldn't, I mean,
I don't think I let my 8-year-old stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning dirt biking.
Not too late on the weekends, but I mean throughout the day. I understand. I could try to take my spouse out on the weekends. That would be something we could do.
So I think it's important to emphasize Ms. Torres's willingness to give you a lot of free time on the weekends. So with that in mind,
I can have him be done writing by 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that I would appreciate that. My spouse will appreciate it as well.
Okay.
As long as the weekends, as long as they have, you know, the time on the weekends, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to enjoy, you know, I feel like that's a good middle ground to meet up.
I can compromise with that. That's okay with me.
Okay. So I do like how we're communicating more effectively now, and that we've addressed our needs, and we're slowly correcting now. So as we've emphasized, the weekends are going to be pretty much free. Ms. Torres is going to try to go out, so you can ride all day. Because 2 hours during the weekday doesn't seem like that much, but during the weekday they can literally ride
Yeah.
for 12 hours, you know, half the day or whatever, or what have you. So with her compromising, and then you're going to talk to your husband about it, but it seems pretty feasible for you to, you know, switch the routine around
Yeah.
a little bit. I'm sure the kids would get used to it. So
so
now.
should we get this in writing?
We didn't address the issue with the dirt.
I'll agree.
Okay, so now that we've spoken and come to an almost close an agreement about the riding times and the noise, I believe there was one more issue that we had to address.
Yes. I understand, as you did say that. Okay. I'll cut that out. I understand, as you did say, that I live in the country, so dirt does happen. But I have a firm belief that there is lots of dirt that's coming over the fence from the riding, and it's getting on my car that I work on a lot, the side of my house, and it's really hard to power wash it off. And I'm already exhausted and stuff, so to have to do an additional cleaning because that dirt that comes and it's airborne and it's giving me breathing problems and stuff. That is something that I would like to have fixed.
Okay.
I don't know how I would be able to compromise or come to an agreement on the dirt. I don't control where the dirt flows or flies, you know. I don't really understand what you want me to do about that.
I would love for it to go away. I know that
Well,
it's
that's not gonna happen.
I know, but the fact that you're accepting that you can't control where the dirt goes, but you know that it's there and coming from your side is more than enough. I mean, but how can we stop it from coming? Or what can you do to, I mean, it's something that I have to clean
It's obviously
from
a
your
problem.
kids
Right.
riding.
It's obvious. I think it's important to point out that you understand it's a problem, an uncontrollable problem on your part, for the most part, and it is a health hazard for you.
And extra labor
Yeah.
that I retired. I don't want to work anymore.
Right.
And I'm working extra on cleaning. So that is something that frustrates me.
So with our earlier agreement of shortened riding times, is there a possibility that there will be less dirt thrown into the air? Because
I don't
we
know.
both-
but
we
the
both
dirt
have
will
a-
still be on my house.
Yeah, we both agreed that it's rather inevitable, and being in the setting that we live in, it's a difficult thing to try and fix. Now that there's a fence separating you guys, right? Okay. And the dirt kind of goes everywhere. Okay.
Yes. Just on that side is where I usually put my car and stuff, and I work on it. We have like a shed and everything with all my tools, and so it's really hard to get it off of my car.
Is there a
and
way you
stuff.
could put your car in the garage?
To work on it, the shed is there. If somebody could help me move the shed, then that would be really greatly appreciated. You're okay, it's gone.
You're good.
It's gone,
Pay
it's gone.
attention.
Alright, can you check that she's in the frame again?
Oh yeah.
What is it be?
Okay, so hearing that, it sounds like
I would,
you guys are.
if somebody could help me move my shed to the other side of the house,
Right.
I would appreciate that. Then I could move my car over there and work on it over there.
Is it movable? Like
Yes,
is it,
it's a portable. It's heavy, but it's one of those portable sheds that you see outside of like Home Depot and stuff.
I mean, that's feasible. I mean, I know people on the block and things like that. Like that wouldn't be too difficult to do.
Yeah, because it seems to me like the riding track is it's the main communal gathering throughout the week
And the weekend.
and the weekend. So I'm assuming that in your welcoming the other neighbors to come enjoy the track and ride their bikes and their kids, that they should be rather easygoing about helping you move a shed for the elderly Miss Torres and Mr. Torres,
Yeah.
Mrs. Torres.
Yeah.
So we can come to an agreement with that.
Do that.
As far as timing purposes goes, what is today again?
Today's the 13th.
Today's the 13th. Tuesday.
Tuesday the 13th. Yes.
So, when did we want to start the potential agreements in the air as far as the noise and then the moving of the shed?
I mean, we could start it, tomorrow, like the writing times and things tomorrow.
Okay.
I can talk about it with my kids and things like that. And I mean, I work, so probably not this week, but on the weekend.
The weekend, maybe the shed.
Yeah, I mean, I have to talk to the other people to get a group of people together to move the shed
Okay.
because it is rather heavy. But feasibly by this weekend, perhaps the weekend after, depending on the schedules, but
Okay.
within the next week or two.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I can park my car on the other side of the house for the next couple of weeks while they're going to be writing from 4 to 6-ish, 6:30ish,
Okay.
and then work on while I work on it on the day and just move it back.
Okay. Great. That's a great agreement we have. So we've covered a lot of information. Yeah. So we've covered a lot of information. So now what we want to do as mediators is kind of enclose the agreement because there's a possibility that we can forget things that we've addressed vocally. So what we want to do next is confirm and get it in writing from both of you that writing times will be in the weekdays. They'll stop before 7 because at 7 o'clock the TV show starts. And weekends, pretty much free. You can write till like 10-ish.
That's reasonable.
If they let me know, like if there's going to be a community gathering, whatever, if they let me know ahead of time, I'll
That time
forgive
could be
it, but
extended.
yes,
Okay.
that's
Okay,
fine.
great. And then the shed will be moved in the next few weeks. Can both of us agree and
Sign
get-
papers.
sign papers, get
Yeah.
this going?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I think we can.
Okay. Well, is there a closing statement?
I think we just sign papers. I've never seen.
Yeah,
this.
in mine, it was just like they came to the agreement, she wrote it up, and then they went back and forth. Or no,
They don't
mind. They were just like, hey, thank you for taking time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of long.
Okay, so now that we've addressed your needs and your concerns, we've fixed the timing and the noise. We've established a way to keep the keep the car from getting dirty, and the pictures will be handed over to Miss Torres. Damn it, Miss Harris. I suck. Miss Harris. What we wanted to do as mediators was thank you for your time. I know that
We all have busy schedules, and we really appreciate both of you coming out here to come to an agreement. And we also want to let you know that we have a mediation hotline, and if problems like this ever arise again, you guys can always feel free to call.
Yeah. And finally, that all this information, number one rule of mediation is confidentiality. So this is never going to be spoken outside, and we really hope that you two as neighbors can live happy and peacefully. So.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay. Now we debrief.
That was one.
That was like 50 into an hour.
Good. That's what it's supposed to be. Now we have to debrief about it. We talk about it.
But we have like a few minutes.
Yeah, we're like middle briefing.
Yeah, we middle brief.
That was a mish.
That was a while.
That was good. That was good.
That was
Feels
good.
Yeah.
Dude, I wonder if everything recorded
I think the
It
more
did.
length is like better. We covered a lot.
We did
That
cover a
thing's
lot.
pretty good.
Because like what we're gonna do was 45 minutes, but at the same time it's like, if you could do an hour, that's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think overall it went well.
Yeah.
The poison, we definitely could have addressed poison more.
Yeah, I got.
But it is hard to
That's the
address
hardest part. Yeah, it's like the whole
Poison,
name calling.
it's just like, poison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like say when you said like okay, no, the harassment. I feel
Yeah.
no. I feel violated or something like that.
Threatened.
I feel threatened. Like what do I say to that? Like well, it
Is
seems to
threaten a-
me.
Is threaten a poison word?
No, I don't think so.
I think
because
so.
it's like she's saying the I statement.
I
like
feel,
I
yeah.
feel threatened. And she's
Or
like,
no, I know at one point you
But I think
called
we still have to
her.
reframe it.
If you said if she said she's threatening me, then
We
I think
should
it
have
would
been
be
like, okay.
I feel threatened.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
she's.
Or we should have been like, okay, I understand you feel threatened. Like, what can we do to make those feelings go away? or something?
No, I don't think we're supposed to. We shouldn't say threaten them.
Yeah,
we
you
should
should
say.
You can say, like,
I-
you're feeling.
I
you're feeling
understand that you
uneasy.
feel disturbed,
Yeah.
disturbed
Yeah.
by
Disturbed.
these actions that
Yeah.
Miss Torres is like doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, like
What could we do to? Like,
what makes you feel that way? Like what kind of other things arise those like feelings for you?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can explain like, you know, like she always is out there like yelling at me, she doesn't answer my phone calls, and she's gonna rant about like everything, and he's gonna listen. And he's gonna, she's telling her feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say to that?
Yeah.
when is this? The videos from Mondays or
No, Tuesday the 20th, so I believe it's Tuesday.
Tuesdays?
Yeah.
What else?
I think overall, like after we got out here, like mediators like they stepped up a little bit more. That's what I felt like.
I feel like the beginning part is always the
The
hardest.
beginning was kind of rough to start.
Yeah. Like even every mediation.
Yeah.
That long just like background
Storytelling.
and like
Stop the fighting type of thing.
yeah, like
Yeah.
trying to calm.
Yeah.
Like you can tell like
As mediation
I think you
progressed.
kind of lose fire. You know, like you're really like up about it, and then
Yeah.
you're kind of as like
Over
time
it,
goes
like-
on, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, now I'm thinking on her shoes, and I'm thinking on her shoes, and
yeah.
I
you know.
think you guys
Those
did
are good, yeah. Like when you're like, well, how do you like when you did the reframing? Like, oh, well,
Yes.
what did you hear about that? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
or like,
You do that a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, which I think is good because it really like lets the other person kind of reflect.
And
Reflect,
even-
yeah,
yeah,
and
I
know
know,
what was
like,
going on.
When I was mediating with him, he would like turn to me and be like, "What did you hear them say?" And then we rephrase it. So maybe we should have done that, like set
You
off
guys
each other
actually-
more. But
No, you did you did a good job at like. So this is what summarizing kind of, and you did a good job at asking a lot of questions because I know one of the main things is like getting down to what the real issue is,
Yeah.
not just like oh they're so annoying and loud. And
Yeah.
the real.
See, I
So you
think-
did a good job of asking a lot of questions, and you did a lot of reframing,
Yeah.
summarizing, and that was I think that helps.
Yeah,
That helps
it's
in
like-
mediation in general because
Yeah, like tracing
you have
back
to
the
shut
points.
up and listen.
There's
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff.
I feel like I think mediation is hard just because, in general, like for me personally, I'm so just like solution oriented, you
Yeah.
know. And but as mediators, you can't be like, hey,
Why don't you do
you
blah blah
do
blah?
this or
Yeah.
do that, you know, like just to give ultimatums. Kind
Yeah.
Of. And to, it's hard just not to be like, ask them like, okay, what do you want to do to fix this?
Right.
That's the frustrating part.
Yeah. Because you really want to like just like get to it. Like, all right, let's just get to it.
Yeah, get this over with.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we have to be back in the room at 7.
How should we continue going? Should we be more aggressive or not, or what?
I think you guys are.
We're pretty
I think the
aggressive.
mediator is kind of like, oh, what the fuck?
Sorry, because in my head I'm like, okay, well then, let's set a time. We can ride bikes.
I know, and I'm already.
You know, but I feel like we
so
can't.
forward.
But I feel like we can't. I don't. You're sorry. I know I'm doing terrible at this, but
No,
I don't know how to
it's
like.
not.
Wait, can this be in like a discussion? Discussion?
This
Like,
could be
Actually,
part of discussion,
I'll put
yeah.
this in the debrief.
does
Okay.
it have to be like we have to do mediation and then do the discussion?
When it's
or can we do it in
edited,
the middle.
It
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
Correct.
Should be like after.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll cut this.
I feel
but
like you guys should be more aggressive though. I feel like you guys are doing fine, but like the mediators kind of step up and like when they're arguing, just be like, can you guys like stop? Like, are you guys listening to each other? Like, you guys are not even portraying the messages to each other. Like, why are we still here?
Did we?
remember.
We were in class for this argument, right?
And that dude
Yeah.
kept calling you names, and then you called him old. And then he's
Yeah.
like, listen, what are you getting? So maybe we should like be meaner.
I keep. Okay,
I
so
don't want it though. I feel so.
Oh.
in class, what were we focusing on? Like,
Well, I tried
I
to do.
forget there was something in common, but
Oh,
Yeah.
I see it now.
Relax. So she enjoys her hobby of dirt biking,
Uh-huh.
and I enjoy like that's how they relax, and I
Yeah.
relax. I want to relax as well.
He said something about leisure and like what was it? There was one word that he was trying to emphasize.
Yeah, I.
It started with an A. No. S. Something.
I was trying to emphasize like the whole safety thing.
Yeah.
Try to connect that because I think after the whole safety thing, if we can address that, then
See, but I feel like she's more
I don't
safe.
really care
Her
about the
safety, like
Yeah.
it's her safety
I
kind
don't
of
care.
thing, versus the kid or like,
Like,
she's
yeah, I
concerned about
care,
her
but-
kid's safety, but she cares about her.
And
safety.
the safety that she cares about is me, like
Yeah,
peeping
peeping
through.
in, being a peeping Tom.
yeah.
You guys can kind of connect that. Like, you want your safety. You value safety. Like, this topic safety is valued, and if you're stressed out about the dirt and you're stressed about like how many hours they ride, like why can't you kind of limit it? And for your safety, like your kids need sleep. Like
See, but I feel like we can't be like, oh hey, throw a limit or throw a time, or like how do
yeah,
we
can we?
engage or how do we?
like you can just say like, so what does it feel like when they're riding really at night? And do you have any leisure activity that you do? Like I know he did that
That's
in
what he
class.
did,
He was
yeah.
like, hey,
He was just
you
like
know,
talking.
I have like a show at 7. He's like, oh, like that's really important for you,
Mhm.
right? And then she went back, and then
Just
he
make
asked
me
her.
describe a typical day, because then you're gonna compare our days, and then
Mhm.
that's when you can find commonalities, and that's when.
Okay.
But
Okay, but we left off on the weekend. I was trying to do the weekend time and the weekday,
Yeah.
and then after that, then I can say, okay, what's a typical day, and then we can move on from there.
Okay.
So then after the explanation of the day, a weekday and a weekend, then from that, I think what we have to emphasize is, okay, well, we have needs, and your need is free time from this, and then that correlates with your kids' homework time.
Mhm.
So that's a free time, and then just can't really like go on.
oh, and then he said like have a later dinner or something, so that instead of having dinner early, because usually they eat dinner and then ride,
Mhm.
like ride and then eat dinner and then just go to bed,
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
or do your homework at night.
Okay, so
So
where
then
did
I
we
can
leave
watch
off again?
The